Reed Bennett, Gladiator Sports, and I was recently asked a question. In this pandemic, what have you learned, or what lessons have you learned? And two words came to mind real quick. And one was you got to change the way you think. So thinking was the word. But you got to change the way you think, which is Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. So you got to change the way you think, because if you've always done what you've always did, you always get what you always got. And in adversity, when things are going, not the way that we planned, you got to think of another way of doing stuff. So there's some things with Gladiator Sports that we've had to change in doing so that we can still develop relationship with young men and carry that aspect of the organization carrying on. And the other word that came to mind was that of relationship. And, particularly with the gospel, the guy I was talking to, he's like, we weren't made for isolation. We were made for community and being together. And even though we can't meet in the hundreds, but just like Moses or Jethro told Moses, break it down in the tens and the 50s and the hundreds. Let's just meet in the tens, and find those 9 other people to cultivate a relationship with, or find that one person to cultivate a relationship with, and know that God's word says that it will not return void. So if you find someone that's hungry for the word, find somebody that like mind yourself. Iron sharpens iron as one man does another, Proverbs 27:17, and we've got to get somehow into community. It may not be as big or as wide, but being wide, sometimes you're only thin. And being narrow, sometimes like a well is narrow, but it's very deep. So this may be a time in our life to where we change the way we think, and instead of being wide and narrow, we're going to go narrow and deep with just few relationships. So I encourage you to do that. If you're not a Christ follower, I encourage you to find someone who knows who Christ is. It'll be the most important decision of your life, and don't wait another day, because we're not promised today. Not to scare you into that, but I would hate for you to go into eternity not knowing who Jesus is. So take time today. Find out who that guy is. I urge you to do it. Being a Christian, you think that's not for me because it's easy. No, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's the most joy that one person could ever have in their life, being a Christ follower. Because in times of chaos, in times of trouble, there's a sense of peace that I can't explain that comes over you. I've seen too many people losing loved ones recently, things that are going on in the world, and there's chaos, and the people that I know that are solid Christians, they're just steadfast. And you wonder what makes them different. Well, I'll tell you what makes them different. It's a relationship with Christ. So that's what I got for this week's Gladiator moment. So take heed, get a relationship with Christ, and we'll finish it out. Are we perfect at Gladiator Sports? Absolutely not. But we're armoring up and we're pressing on. Have a great weekend.